What? Oh dear, that's bad. Oh. It's coming up here now. I'm gonna cry. This toilet is the broken, and I've come around here today to fix it. It's got a little bit of a crack in the back of the cistern just down there. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to show you the steps that I go through when changing a toilet. So without further ado, let's get on with step number 1. First thing you do is when you buy your new toilet, obviously try to select the toilet that's most relevant to the one that you're replacing. So is it close coupled, is it wall mounted, high level cistern, all those things, you've got to think about that. I've let my mate Nick buy his new toilet, so I'm just going to open this first to see whether it's actually even feasible to install. Okay, so we've got close coupled, so that means our cistern actually sits directly on here. Let's make sure it fits first before we ruin the box. Next thing we're going to do is rip this off. Oh! Remove any boxwork, so we've got a little bit of boxwork here. Get the boxwork, oh, it's on a flexi. That means we have what I would call redundancy, okay? Means we can do anything with this now. Probably gonna be all right. So next thing, turn the water off. If you've got a valve like this, just put it crossways like that. The water's off already because there's been a leak. If the valve bit is like that, that means it's on, so then you turn it this way and that's off. If you don't have a valve like this, then you're gonna have to look for somewhere else in your house to turn the water off, aren't you? I'm gonna undo this flexi. Right, so you'll have a little bit of water coming out, which is water that's just sat in the fill valve, but there you go, that's off now. And that means we've got the cold water disconnected from the bottom of the cistern, and we can move on to the next stage. Hey! We remove the top of this now. Right, so this is the problem here. Look, we've got a crack all the way down that like that. So we need to undo this, undo this. There's still about 1 inch of water in the bottom. What you can do, you can either get a wet vac that out, or you can get a towel, soak it all up with a towel, or you can do what I'm going to do. Just going to remove these two, we're going to lift this off because it all should just come off and out of the way, and we're going to pull that water outside into drive. Right, so we're going to undo these 2 screws here. One thing I would say is this looks quite in good nick. Even these are serviceable, so if you're a good old DIY type, then there's every possibility you could take them off and reuse them again. Okay, basically the story behind this, I came around their house about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, got absolutely sauced off me nut. The missus didn't because she's up the duff. And came in here and was like, oh, I didn't miss, I'm not that bad. Noticed a little bit of water down there, you know, us plumbers are like. Came back in, I was like, look, you got a problem there. Needs to get sorted. Whip the top off, had a look. Little crack down there, boom. Here we are, a few days later, doing a little bit of a job for them for absolutely nothing. Just gonna undo this nut here. We have a little bit of water coming out, which is actually just what's round the flush pipe, and now we should be able to just lift this out nice and easy and take it outside. Here we go. Magic, innit? You know. Oh. Fighting going on out here. Wow, look at the back of that. Beautiful. Not leaving that unlocked anymore. Okay, so we've got obviously a couple of little brackets here. We're not going to need that for the new toilet because the vast amount of weight of the cistern actually goes directly onto the toilet bowl itself. I'm not doing it by hand. It's not Victorian England, is it? Handy little L bracket. They'll go in the box. Might give them to Emily for Christmas. Shall I wrap them up actually and give them to her? Follow the channel if you want to see my wife open these on Christmas Day. Right, next stage. Now that we've got the cistern off, we move down to the lower reaches and we undo these 2 screws down here on the toilet. I'm actually surprised they came out because usually what happens is they get covered in urea, the Claytish. And what is it that's in wee that they put in cars? What's in AdBlue? Ammonia. That actually does bomb, mate. Oh, yeah. That actually stinks. So now the toilet should move, and it does. This piece here, these are flexible multi-quicks on the back. Flexible multi-quicks, right, are things that just get you out of a lot of trouble sometimes, because sometimes you don't know where things are going to be, and they allow you to have like redundancy in the install, so it's quite good to have that. I'm happy about it anyway. So once we've got this bit out, well, we'll pull this off, Probably pop a little bit of blue roll in there as well, just to stop any water sort of coming back down again. And then we can actually look at installing the new toilet, which is going to be interesting. We'll see how it goes. Blue roll, best thing ever. Fantastic for cleaning up spillages, wiping down silicone, or of course putting in the toilet or in the shower when you've got 2 teenage sons. There we go, it's coming off the back like that, and there we go. Now we're into poo land, or as I call it, poo-lander. Right, we've got a bucket right here, so we can just lift this up, pour that water in there, and then we can just take the old toilet out and we're all good back. Right, so obviously you've got, you know, this under here, it's all got a bit mungy over the years. Nice, Max, happy with that? Right, next stage lodge. We're just going to get this in here like this. I just want to see what kind of world we're coming up against, how much boxwork we have to cut out. So I think we have to cut down this line here, so we can still use that little bar. So the other way we could do this is we could sit the cistern on here and then batten it out at the back, but that's just not what I want to do. I don't like doing stuff like that. All right. Take that, Max, outside. Come on, get that. It's no Richard on air, boy. You probably think now what we're going to do is we're going to get the toilet and connect it up to the back of that, and then we're going to screw it in the floor and all the rest of it. Well, we would, but the best thing to do is actually to get our cistern on there now, actually fixed to the toilet. Not because it's easier to fix, it is, but because we want to know if the cistern's depth is deeper off the back, that will throw out where we drill our holes for the screws fixing down the toilet. So let's get the cistern out now. All the tools that I've used in this video you can get in our Amazon store. Links below. But you're only going to click at them at the end of the video to keep our viewer retention up. Look at that, it's a baby, isn't it? Slim line, yo! Flush valve with integrated overflow, so as the water comes up it can go into this. And then we've got our flushy button. Easy for us to install these are. You've seen us do these a few times in the past, Max. Doesn't need to be mental tight. And then what seals this to our toilet is what we call a donut. That donut just goes on there like so. Sometimes what you'll find, even when this is meant to come with the toilet bottom that we've got, sometimes this bit here rests on the toilet itself and it stops it sitting down properly and stops us getting a seal. If that happens, you're going to have to get a little hacksaw and just hacksaw that bit off. It does happen. Even though they're designed to go together, it doesn't mean the designers gave a flying fig of how they went together afterwards. They don't care. Yeah. Always have that reaction with birds. Look at that, it goes on the same side as the old toilet. So obviously make sure your rubber's on there, thread goes through. Rubber's always tapered on these. Well, it generally is on the good ones. So that's sticking through. It's got there's a little valve bit in there that stops water flow coming in really quickly so it doesn't steal flow from everywhere else. It's up to you if you want to keep that in. I generally keep them in. But when you do it up, make sure that the position in which you do it, this can sort of flow freely. Okay, so that's all happy where it is, all right? These fixings, right, so what they do is they will fix down through here and into the toilet itself and create pressure on this to create a watertight seal, but also fix the cistern and the toilet together. In 10 years' time, they will be crusty, rusty and yellow. Again, this bit here is going to go in the toilet and all the sealing happens on this conical little washer here. Next that goes on will be the rubber bit because that just protects the bits that these tighten up, then that, and then we have this on here. And these get tightened up now. Right, okay, so now we are ready to just sight this on top of the toilet and effectively get it nipped up. You through those holes and all. Now, if that sits there and wobbles like that, I'm happy with that. I like that because it means that when we tighten it down, that rubber's going to get a nice wee squidge. I recommend you wash your hands a lot doing this job, especially working around my mate Nick and Corin's house. I know what they eat. Right, have a little feel underneath. You can measure in about 8mm. I mean, people are always scared of doing these. I don't really know why, because they're easy. Right, what we do with these, we sight them so this is just a few mil in, like 8mm. Or if you want to say, like the width of one of them, just like that. Mark that. Couple of holes, but floor tiles are usually incredibly hard, right? So make sure if you do this sort of job, you get yourself a really good set of floor tile screws. The ones I've got here are the Bosch Expert ones. I will actually leave you a separate link below so you can buy these because they are so good. And Bosch didn't tell me to say that. Seriously, watch how easy these go through. It's already cutting already. Usually on these tiles, you are here for days doing this. Look at that. I mean, I can just have it on slow speed. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? So usually once you've done that, oh, that's warm. You might need a hammer drill to finish that off. A lot of you probably thought this drill is all it does, but this is actually a combi drill, so I can take that off, have an angle bit, impact driver, and then extend, make the diameter of your hole bigger, using, guess what, a slightly larger diameter drill bit. Who would have thought it? What? Oh dear, that's bad. Oh, it's coming up here now. I'm gonna cry. Right, okay, we just got to fix it. Max, find out where the water turns off. Corin! Corin! Oh, that's so unlucky. Right, can you put your fingers over these, mate? Get the camera out. We'll just have to, we've got to get this water off, otherwise we're going to fuck this out. Are you ready? Cars, where's your water turn off? We've just drilled a hole straight for a tap pipe in your floor, which we didn't know was there. Why would you put that there? Oh, Max, this job sometimes is just insane, isn't it? Max! Take your finger off. Is that good? Quality. Right, we can shut this again. Oh, I'm much happier once you've got control of the situation. This is why you never price jobs. Mate, it's so annoying. I should have just glued it, shouldn't I? If I glued it, we'd be going home now. I mean, the fact they've actually put in a separation layer, that's really good. They've actually done a good job there. Corinne, you're right about your builders. That is utterly mental what they've done there, but there we go. Honestly, look at that, man. So, a couple of lessons to take from this. Number one, obviously, I mean, our screws are that long, okay? They're gonna go down sort of that far when this is all done. So we probably did drill a bit far. In electrics, we have zones, don't we? Where you have like a light switch that runs directly up, the wires come off it from there. You do not put pipes diagonally across through when you're first fixing, especially exactly where you're going to fit the toilet. I know you know when you've done this work, that's where it is. And maybe that's why, I mean, look how lucky they were. If they'd have drilled too far down, blimey. Do you know what I mean? So, I'm just saying, just don't do that, please. Right, so we're just going to cut out this side of the hole. Obviously the hole actually has kind of a width to it. Didn't get out the other side that much, did we? Look at that, straight through the centre of it. So we've obviously cut out the bit of pipe that we've drilled through. Okay, so that's there, as you can see, beautiful. So what I'm going to do, we need just a bit more movement in the pipe here. So we're just going to dig a bit further back here. Then we can effect a fix. Once we've got the fix done, turn the water back on, make sure that we've got no leaks. And then we'll fill this hole back up, okay? If we're going to make this fix, I don't know what we're going to do it with yet, but if we do it with copper or brass, we probably will, we'll need to gaffer tape those fittings up afterwards because we do not want the copper to have concrete touching on it because it can eat through the concrete. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to use compression fittings for this. We're going to tighten them up. We're going to use jointing compound to make sure that we get a nice joint on there, that these will bite. I mean, really, they should be completely fine. What I generally do is with the piece that doesn't move that much, that's the first bit we kind of work on. And then we've got that here. So the bit that's nearest us, because I kind of want to preserve this tile if I can, is this pipe here, and that's not moving at all. Whereas this piece, we've got quite a lot of movement there. And hopefully in a minute we'll be able to sort of get that laid down so that's nicely in. If there's any scoring on the pipe, best thing you can do is just grab a Stanley knife, try and get that in there and try and sort of rub it off. So make things easier for yourself. Get on your nut. I hope you can get an olive on here. There we go. I'll just push that where it needs to be, like so. Take that off again and we'll just pop a little bit of compound. What a video this has turned out to be, eh Max? Let's get this as tightened on as much as we can. Right, so I was going to use 2 compression fittings, which would have meant 1, 2, 3, 4 compression joints under the floor, because we'd have to put a small slither of copper in there, and also we'd need to have a slip joint. Now the thing is, this is what you use on the lock shield pretty much of a radiator. These are designed to hold pressures, a very, very high amount of pressure, like 4 or 5 bar plus. They also have a huge depth inside each side here and on the other side, which means that actually act as a slip coupling. And also, I'm sure you can recognise as well, we've only then got 2 joints on here to leak. The one thing is, I can't remember, I put the cap for that, but it shouldn't leak anyway. We're going to pop this on, see how it goes. Right, so that little leak fix we tried to do there isn't working, so what I'm going to have to do is basically remove the whole bit of floor behind it, take the whole bit of pipe out and redo it. I love my life. What we're going to do is we're actually going to bring the pipe up new where we want it. We don't need to cut it all out of there, we're just going to put our own bit in because it's daft where it comes up anyway. Right, I'm going to turn it on again, Max. Tell me if it leaks, please. Good? Right. Nearest building supplier. Let's get some muck in there. Screwfix Letchworth, 13 minutes. Let's go. Got some post mix, goes off in 10 minutes. Yeah. Oh, she was a reet nice girl in there. Cheers for your help, Debs. And she got my Paul Hardcastle 19 joke as well. Let me put my seatbelt on, Max. Right, so we've got a fixed pipe in here now. What we're going to do is we're going to fill this in. The copper pipe and the actual fitting as well. We're just going to protect the little bit of blue roll. I would have some gaffer on it, but I can't find it in the van. Usually I'll just gaffer that all up before I put any screed in there or any mortar mix. We're going to be using post mix on this because I want to get this done today, and post mix goes off in about 10 or 15 minutes and it can take the weight of Nick's big fat bum. So yeah, we're there now. We've had all the trouble. Yeah, I love my life. Forgot my bucket. This is just typical PJ work, isn't it? So yeah, I didn't think I'd need hardly anything to do this, but turns out I need almost everything I have. Basically, it's pure concrete. Oh, Max, it's going off in front of me. It's going solid right in front of my eyes, man. Can we have a cup of water or something? I don't think I've ever set a tile on post mix in my life. Look at it. I told you it goes off quick. Oh, mate. I want it to look like we aren't even here. Right, okay guys, so look, I don't want to drill on that floor anymore. And there have been times in the past where I have been worried about the floors. I didn't think there was going to be a problem there with where that pipe came out, but what we're going to do is we're going to use another method of fixing this down, and it's called siliconing the hell out of the toilet down to the floor. To be fair, I always think that siliconing actually holds the toilet down more, especially once they're glued to those tiles. It isn't going to go anywhere. And then what we'll do with the side bits to cover up the holes, we'll use the decorative fittings they've got there to put on each side, and then I'll just tell the lovely people, my mates who live here, that they're not going to be able to use the toilet until tomorrow, which is generally what I tell them anyway, because I want all my silicone to go off. So let's install this toilet now and go home. First things first, get the poo pipe on. Okay, poo pipe's on. Screws for the wall. When you're going through, always just pop a couple of little hold tight jobbies. These are tap washers. I just find they help. You're tightening up onto porcelain. We saw the last one cracked a bit, so that's going to hold it back to the wall nicely, but it's not going to put any real bad pressure on the porcelain itself. If this happens to your own home, don't try and fix it yourself. Call a plumber. Worst thing is I've got cement on my fingers now. You know what that means? They go all sort of slippery. So on the tops of these ones, you've got full flush and half flush. Full flush, half flush. There's your full, there's your half. Orientate round your button, so obviously it points in that direction. Zang. So there we go, that was the length of screw, yeah, that they used on the old toilet. Now the old toilet obviously had the sort of side bit on it, so it went, they were a little bit more proud, but blimey, how lucky are they that when, you know, usually when you drill for a screw that long, you're going to drill a bit further just because you do. Wow, how lucky are they? But okay, a job that should have taken a couple of hours took a couple of hours more for us to get that cut out. Well, turn the water off, get it cut out, put some screed in. Oh man, what a day. But it's all there now, all ready to go. It's all usable, so it just needs a little bit of decorating around there that Nick's gonna do. But yeah, all done. So thanks for watching. DIY Friday is right here for you to watch. Don't miss it. It's in my local club. My family are in it, my friends. We've got all the crew from Plumber Parts there. I'm actually my wee there who's holding the camera. Go and check it out. It's gonna be absolutely brilliant.